Ever since being officially acquired by Electronic Arts back in 2017, Respawn Entertainment hasn't made a single new Titanfall, though the acquisition doesn't seem much of a reason why. The first Titanfall game was a commercial success, and the second, although not on the same level as the original, sold remarkably well too. The franchise averages reviews that make it critically acclaimed. That is why at first glance it seems like the series has got it all. But it's perplexing when you find out that Titanfall 3, the prophesized smash hit sequel, still lingers as nothing more than an idea. Months after the second game launched, rumors about the third installment spread like wildfire. Naturally, fans went with it, expecting the mecha shooter sequel to be in their hands in a couple of years. Alas, 7 years later, all those guaranteed confirmations amount to nothing today. Unsurprisingly, the prospect of Titanfall 3 looks as grim as ever. But is it truly too late for the next entry? Never. Titanfall 3 is confirmed, but still, the Titanfall 3 release date is not confirmed. A recent leak from the Neon Beast confirmed that the game is coming to the market very soon. Titanfall series has slowly been receiving crowd attention, and even getting comparisons by fans between award-winning games like Battlefield and Call of Duty. It is to be seen that Titanfall is not that successful, but after another sequel of Titanfall out, the game started to receive so much attention, making it one of the greatest games that Respawn Entertainment created. Although the game is not as great as Apex Legend, Titanfall 2 is still considered a success and has a great game review. The success of the game has made a lot of fans demand another series. There is no doubt that Titanfall 2 is the greatest series. Even the developers themselves admit the success of the game, and it is confirmed that another series will be out. Unfortunately for all the fans out there, the game is still not in development and will not anytime soon. Respawn Entertainment has been hinting at another series that is making lots of rumors of Titanfall 3 coming soon and even existing. But Titanfall 3 release date is still a mystery. Also, many people claim that the Titanfall 3 release date will be in 2024. The proof we know another series will be out in the future is the announcement from Respawn Entertainment itself that mentioned making another Titanfall sequel eventually, which is Titanfall 3. Respawn Entertainment will only start developing Titanfall 3 after more Apex Legend updates and development. This means that the game will come anytime soon, maybe in late 2024 or in later years. In May 2022, a Twitter user posted a screenshot showing Titanfall 3 available for pre-order. This is Nuremberg, Germany. The leaked photo suggests a release time of Q4 2022. There has been game information leaking out from retail stores even before its release. But with Titanfall 3, you can take this piece of information with a pinch of salt. This is due to Respawn Entertainment's success with Apex Legends. Many people have recently started playing Apex Legends over PUBG, and the creators won't want to miss out on this chance. It is their chance to get Apex Legends to the top of the list of mobile games. So even though the screenshot suggested a 2022 release, we can consider it concrete. Respawn Entertainment is not just working on the maintenance of Apex Legends, but also on the development of 3 Star Wars games. With all this in development, expecting a 2023 release for Titanfall 3 seems far off. So the release date for Titanfall 3 is not definite, and for now, we cannot speculate on a particular time as to when the game will be released. It could be 2024 or even 2025. One thing is sure, though, and the game is coming. But when will it exactly be available in the market? That is something that only time can tell. Unfortunately, there's no official release date for Titanfall 3. As it stands, Respawn Entertainment's busy working on multiple titles focusing on the Star Wars universe, so until those games are out, we doubt you'll see the third installment arrive anytime soon. Although if we were to speculate the release year, 2025 appears to be our best guess. Besides the Star Wars projects, Respawn's parent company EA just signed a 3-game deal with Marvel. The first game centered around Iron Man is probably still in early pre-production at Motive Studio, and who knows which studios might end up working on the other 2. On one hand, if Respawn starts developing Titanfall 3 after Star Wars Jedi Survivor, then it should arrive by 2025. On the other, and likelier scenario, Respawn may work on a 3rd Jedi game. There's also a possibility that EA ends up piling a Marvel game onto Respawn's already busy lap. So in that case, the release year may push even beyond 2025. With EA's focus shifted towards putting out more and more single-player experiences, the already grim chances of Titanfall 3 appear to be drifting further away. But there have been many gaming franchises that have defied the odds and returned with a sequel. So for now, we can only hope that Titanfall turns out to be one of them. The first Titanfall game released exclusively for Microsoft platforms in 2014. The game was a huge success at the time, although it was limited in scope to a multiplayer-only affair. Titanfall 2 branched out to the PS4 when it released in 2016. That game also added a full single-player campaign. Titanfall 3 will follow suit and be available across the PS4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. It is possible that EA and Respawn could bring Titanfall 3 to Switch, although EA's support of the system has been less than stellar so far. While the Titanfall games have so far used a heavily modified version of Valve's source engine, which dates back to 2004, the additions and modifications to the engine may be difficult to implement on the Switch. There is also a possibility that Titanfall 3 will be a cross-generation title, seeing release on both current-gen, PS4 or Xbox One, and the next consoles from Sony and Microsoft. The game will be available for PC users and will be a demanding title, so don't keep your hopes up to play this game on a low-end PC. Besides PC, PlayStation users will also get the title on their console. Depending on the time of release, the model of PlayStation will be selected. If it is released in 2024, we will see the game come to PS5 and not PS4 possibly. And if the game releases much later, we could see the game coming to PS6 or even possible PS7. Now for Xbox users, the story is the same. The Xbox model that will support the upcoming title will depend on the time of the release of the game. The latest Xbox model during the time of the release of Titanfall 3 will surely get the game. For Switch users, expecting Titanfall 3 is a bit too much. The current Switch from Nintendo is in no way capable of handling the gameplay of Titanfall, so unless Nintendo releases a bumped-up version of the Switch, we cannot expect the game coming to the current Nintendo Switch. The game will be coming to PlayStation unless there is another console that is newer than it. Since Titanfall 2 has over 40 GB and has the potential to increase the details of the animation in battle, Titanfall 3 might be more suitable on consoles like PS5, as players get to play the game in the best gameplay possible. Since the game is not in development yet, we still cannot provide any proof of what console it will be coming out in. Titanfall 3 is certainly one of the great games to be excited about, and should wait patiently. The only thing is that fans can play Apex Legends to furtherly predict when they are going to start another series. The best is to wait for more announcements from Respawn Entertainment itself, as they are also excited for another sequel. Regrettably, Respawn hasn't announced that Titanfall 3 is under development. Judging from the studio's current slate of its future titles, it doesn't seem like the sci-fi series is set to return anytime soon either. Well, that's the current impression as it stands. In response to these rising concerns by fans, Respawn did issue a statement in late 2021, addressing how Titanfall still remains a part of their core DNA. According to them, they're still very much focused on the series, but that's pretty odd considering we've heard nothing other than hopeful wishes about a sequel in the past half a decade or so. Instead, we've been seeing more and more of their battle royale game Apex Legends. And Respawn apparently also has the single-player market in its palm now too, ever since the successful launch of their first narrative-driven IP, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, into the market. Back in 2017 when Fortnite revolutionized gaming by starting a trend for the Battle Royale mode, the genre fever eventually caught up to EA. With that, EA and Respawn Entertainment developed Apex Legends as a foothold into the category. The game launched in 2019, became a commercial success, and still enjoys a whopping player count averaging in the millions every month. Initially, everyone was under the impression that Apex Legends was going to be the third installment, so it came as a surprise when the IP Apex Legends was formally announced. Though Apex Legends turned out to be a totally separate experience, it was later revealed that it is indeed set in the Titanfall universe. That statement was confirmed when we finally saw Ash, one of the antagonists of Titanfall 2, be added to Apex Legends as a playable character in the 11th season. But aside from that clear-cut corroboration, there are plenty of other references in the game. Another is that Wraith and Bloodhound from Apex Legends both have a Gen 10 Titan pilot badge on their suits, so a lot of footnotes about both games being set in the same universe are present. That's enough to poke the thought at Apex being truly a spiritual successor to the Titanfall franchise. As we mentioned already, Respawn has entered the single-player market. They released Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in 2019, and the game was a smash hit. Its inspiration from the Souls series created by From Software at first felt like an uncanny way to bring the galaxy far, far away to life. But the studio's quirky spin on the systems made the experience something totally brand new on many fronts. Sometime later, a sequel was announced with a teaser. So currently, all hands at Respawn are busy polishing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Though that may be great news for most, It's yet again an agonizing scoop for fans who are looking forward to Titanfall 3. Besides Jedi Survivor, Respawn's working on multiple other Star Wars-related IPs as well. One game is a first-person shooter, while the other seems to be a strategy-type title. That makes a total of 4 Star Wars games under Respawn's belt. And once again, that does point at them being booked for another year or two, pushing a potential Titanfall 3 project even further. Due to the glorious success EA has had with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the company now has signed a multi-title deal with Marvel for similar new single-player IPs. 3 games in total are set to be developed by EA Studios, the first one among them being a third-person action-adventure title about Iron Man. EA revealed that Motive Studio, known for Star Wars Squadrons and Star Wars Battlefront 2, will be in charge of the project. So in this sense, EA is finally taking a liking to single-player experiences, and that is very contradictory to what the company previously made known. But shifting focus aimed at more single-player titles doesn't do much for the case of Titanfall 3, except delay it. Although, yes, they could potentially make a better story mode for the third installment when it happens. EA isn't known for its narrative games, so it'll be intriguing to see what it ends up doing with this opportunity. And depending upon whether or not the company's future single-player IP endeavors turn out fruitful, we may or may not see Titanfall 3, a multiplayer game, turn up quickly. Either way, Respawn's occasional tweets about Titanfall do spark some hope. Specifically, it does make you wonder, if they're still talking about the franchise's importance years later, then they must have something planned for its future. When Respawn Entertainment thus revealed Titanfall 3 to the world, it will use an in-engine trailer. The first teaser for Titanfall 2, for example, was an in-engine trailer showcasing improvements to rendering and swords for Titans. It featured voice-over work that teased that game's single-player campaign. Titanfall 3 will likely see a similar teaser, followed by a single-player trailer, and then a multiplayer trailer. Titanfall 3 could see new game modes, like a Battle Royale mode, that could require its own trailer. Titanfall 2's fast-paced gameplay and unique use of giant robots called Titans set it above its contemporaries, and we'd love to see an evolution of this in the upcoming game. We don't have any details on how closely Titanfall 3's gameplay will follow Titanfall 2. However, given how ardently fans praised the most recent entry's movement and gunplay, we'd be surprised if the sequel didn't stick pretty close to that formula. Titanfall 2 blew past most its contemporaries with how engaging its single-player mode was. We loved the chemistry between Titan BT-7274 and Jack Cooper, and we've rarely seen a robot character give us so many feels. Titanfall is set in an exciting sci-fi setting, but we've barely got to see any of its potential. The original Titanfall didn't have a single-player campaign, and as good as Titanfall 2's was, it was fairly short. Since split-screen multiplayer and couch co-op are largely ignored by studios these days, we'd love to see Titanfall 3 carve a niche of its own here. The relationship between a pilot and their Titan is a perfect setup for some unique co-op gameplay. Imagine one player ground-pounding in traditional FPS gameplay, while the other uses a Titan as support. As fun and microtransaction-free as Titanfall 2's multiplayer is, it could use more depth. We hope for the new game that Respawn develops the rank ladder and unlocks to a complexity that matches its peers. The gameplay is excellent, and having a deep unlock and rank system would create a product with a lot of longevity. The end of Titanfall 2 definitely lends itself to the possibility of more adventures with Jack Cooper and BT-7274. Since the story involved time travel, who knows where Titanfall 3 could go? We feel that since people reacted so well to Titanfall 2's campaign, that if the new game includes a single-player story that there's almost no doubt it'll piggyback off Titanfall 2 as a prequel or sequel.